tomorrow could be a date. And if that were to happen, it would be at 12:03 p.m.
And for folks just joining us, just to recap so far, so there was an automatic hold by the ground launch sequencer at T minus 3 minutes and 50 seconds to launch, so about 12:21 p.m. Eastern time today. The ground launch sequencer is essentially the computer that launches the rockets. It controls all the systems needed in the final moments of the countdown. And the ULA team will still be looking into why it appears the ground launch sequencer did not enter into the right configuration for launch. That is why the automatic hold was triggered at, again, T minus 3 minutes and 50 seconds. As you can see on your screen, the next launch opportunity tomorrow, June 2nd, 12:03 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's just an opportunity. Teams will review the data from what happened today to determine whether or not they can make that launch opportunity. You see Sunny walking across the crew access arm now. Back into the white room, where a pad team member is helping her to put back on her helmet. Or the cover.
A visor cover, yes.
Yeah. And that's to make sure it doesn't scratch. Nothing scratches.
Yes,
right?
It's very frustrating to have a visor that's scratchy and then it's hard to replace. So we protect them carefully, and so they'll be able to make it back to the suit room where the crew will get unsuited, and the suits will get cleaned and dried and ready for the next time to go launch.
And give us some insight as to what happened. So, we ended our coverage last time on May 6th after Butch and Sunny arrived to crew quarters. What happens after that?
Yes, so they arrive at crew quarters. It was kind of funny because I met them right at the Astrovan. We said a few joking words, and then I asked Butch if I could carry his helmet bag, and he said nope. And same with Sunny. They're I would say fiercely independent, but they just say, hey, we're professionals, we got this. So we went up to the suit room where the Boeing and David Clark team, the suit team was there, and they helped the crew get out of their suits safely. You can see it's a little windy, and a blue Sunny's helmet cover is a little bit loose. Hopefully somebody sees it, puts it carefully back on, or we'll have a piece of FOD. Oh, there it is. And so then they get that out of their suits, and then they go back to their rooms at the astronaut quarantine facility or crew quarters, and they will get out of their undergarments and take a quick shower, get refreshed, and then find out what the plan is for the next time, whether it's tomorrow or not. And so that's what happened last time, and at this point, last time we thought the launch might be the next day also. So they're keeping their optimism right now and keeping options open.
Sure. And so we just saw Butch and Sunny and the pad team members get inside the elevator at level 12, which is the level that allows them access to the Starliner spacecraft. So now they are making their way down to the base of the crew access tower. And here they come out of the elevators again.
You see they have their white booties on there. That's to make sure that any gravel or any small little pieces of dirt or rocks don't get into their fancy boots, and it protects the spacecraft, the Calypso, for the next opportunity.
And so we just saw there that the Astrovan is already at the base of the crew access tower. So they will get on in there. And then it's a short ride over to astronaut crew quarters, which is a couple of, or basically it's like the whole west wing of the third floor of the operations and checkout building here, right?
Yes, and not only are the flight crew there, but we have the chief astronaut. We have our vehicle integration and test office folks there. So it's there's many rooms at the astronaut crew quarters for sure, and of course the team that makes the meals. They do a fantastic job on feeding us while we're in quarantine, and I think they probably just got word that. They're going to have to come up with a dinner for tonight, and they're scrambling like all the rest of us. And I know they're going to do a great job. And I bet you Butch and Sonny are hungry now.
I was going to say, I remember specifically Butch and Sunny both saying that they felt like the food at astronaut crew quarters was excellent. So, there's always these silver linings, right? A good meal tonight would do them good, I would assume.
Well, to be honest, Butch and Sonny are my heroes, and I consider them national heroes too. And at least we can do is feed them nicely.
And so there have still been family members who've been quarantining with them. Will they have some family time? After they probably debrief and some of the things that you already mentioned.
Yeah, that's a great point. Last time it was kind of late at night, and family time was a little bit hard to come by. But this time, we the looks there might be a great opportunity to have the families come by. I think Butch and Sonny are staying quarantined. The families may have gotten out of quarantine, but we have a nice glass room where Butch and Sonny can sit and talk to their families. We call it BTG, or behind the glass.
Oh, all right. And we see the Astrovan there turning around, driving away now from the crew access tower. Again, a short drive back to crew quarters, about 15-20 minutes. Again, for those just joining us, this was our second attempt at launching NASA's Boeing crew flight test. At around 3 minutes and 50 seconds to launch, an automatic hold was triggered by the ground launch sequencer. And that GLS for short is the computer that launches the rocket because it controls all the systems needed in the final moments of the countdown. So if you remember when we were in terminal count and you heard the teams calling out and saying, this is done, kind of ticking off things off the checklist. It was the ground launch sequencer, right, Mike? That we're triggering all of those steps.
Yes, so that's what's really neat about modern launch vehicles and rockets is that we can let the computers get all the sequence of events that needs to happen. A lot of valves opening and igniters igniting to get a launch properly. And so for some reason today, the launch sequencer said, "Hey, something's not right. I didn't pass my self checks," and stopped the launch at 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
And it's great that we have these safeties in place, right? For there to be an automatic trigger, if there were something wrong, really is a safety to have.
Yeah, that really helps with both reliability and safety for sure. And that's what's really nice about the rockets that we send humans on. That I think the SLS, the Artemis rocket, also has a ground launch sequencer, different design, but the same purpose of making sure everything happens. And if it doesn't, it's hold off from launch, and we'll do it again some other time. Well, the good news is they can watch the next chapter of Maverick on their way back and get excited again for the next time.
Again, when we launch, this will be a historic mission. Only the sixth time that NASA astronauts will fly on a new crewed vehicle, space vehicle. Sunny would have been the first woman to test an orbital spacecraft. Of course, Butch and Sunny, the first two to fly in space, to fly in Starliner in general. This crewed flight test, part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program to certify a second commercial spacecraft to ferry astronauts to and from the space station. And this is interesting, actually. Once in orbit, for the first time in NASA history, the agency will have 3 different crew spacecraft operating in space simultaneously. So you would have the International Space Station, the SpaceX Crew Dragon, and also Boeing Starliner spacecraft. So again, once in orbit, another milestone.
Yeah, I have a feeling, Megan and Dee, that low Earth orbit's going to become more and more busy, and that's a really good thing for our country, and it's very good for the space program overall, and good for humans.
And let's talk about this crew flight test again. There are 87 test objectives that teams are looking to review, right, in order to certify Starliner. Can you talk us through some of those objectives?
Yes, so it's a really neat list that we put together, and I think Boeing was always careful to say the whole flight itself is a test, because a lot of things that you put together, you can test them in small individual units, but this is the first time that we've had the humans and the rocket and the spacecraft all together going to dock to the space station. So that's a big test objective, is to have mission success, and today we got that this much closer for that. The actual flight test objectives on the lower level, as well as that we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, called operational checkouts of capability, OCCs, really focus on two main areas. One area is how does the spacecraft fly? In the simulators, it flies a certain way. We know the laws of physics really well, and Boeing really analyzed the orbital flight tests 1 and 2, how well it flew. But this time, we're going to put a human in the loop with the hand controllers, and we fully expect it to fly just like it does in the simulators. But now we'll know if we ever needed to manually dock the spacecraft or to use it for deorbit. We'll have great confidence, and that's part of the what certification is. It's saying NASA has confidence that the Starliner will do what it needs to do and keep our crews safe and going back and forth to the space station. So we have a lot of those. I think interview earlier with Chris Ferguson, he talked about, hey, can you point the spacecraft to the sun to charge the solar panels? Can you point it to the the tracking and data relay satellites to get communications? So those are all really important flight test objectives.
Sure.
But we're also looking at Starliner as a place to hold humans on the way to and back from space stations. So, how is the ecosystem working? The environmental control and life support. How is the temperature? All these little things that matter. How is the communication system? A lot of these things that are really important for what you would expect in the spacecraft. And we think that they're all great. We did a lot of ground testing, but you never know till you actually try. And then there's also the Starliner as a lifeboat aboard the space station, because for a 6 month crew, if something happens, they should be able to get into Starliner and wait for 24 hours in a safe haven, or if not, come back.
Right.
And so, does the station portable computer system work? In Starliner, does do we get Wi-Fi inside Starliner or not from the space station side? We don't think so, but we'll check it out. So there's lots of things to check while we're there, and Butch and Sunny will come back with some great data.
And speaking of Butch and Sunny coming back, they are actually passing us right now at the host desk. The host desk is at Kennedy Space Center's press site and across the street from the iconic Vehicle Assembly Building. So we are hearing some helicopter sound from above, and we now have eyes on the security convoy and the Astrovan with Butch and Sunny inside.
Yay, go Butch, go Sunny, go Starliner.
Not much of a trip from here, about 10 minutes. So should be back at crew quarters here shortly.
It's a lot easier with a police escort.
Yeah. Again, we're talking about Commander Butch Wilmore, NASA astronaut and retired U.S. Navy captain. As a naval pilot, he racked up more than 8,000 flight hours. Before his selection to NASA, he was on exchange to the Air Force as a flight test instructor. And he is a veteran of 2 space flights as pilot on Space Shuttle Atlantis in 2009. And then in 2014, he served as a flight engineer for Expedition 41. So CFT will be his third mission to the ISS. And then Sunny Williams, of course, CFT's pilot, also a retired U.S. Navy captain. Her first trip to the ISS was in 2006. She served as flight engineer for Expeditions 14-15. She then returned to the orbiting lab in 2012 and was commander of Expedition 33. She has more than 50 hours of spacewalk time. It's actually the second most cumulative time by a female astronaut. And so CFT will also be her third trip to space. Again, their background is something to be said here. Mike, again, they're used to this. Scrubs are par for the course.
And with a new spacecraft on a new to us rocket, and for ULA having humans on board, this is all new. So we expect to have some hiccups, small hiccups like this for the new things. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but we're moving forward and looking forward to the next time to suit up and go again.
But I think they like being a test pilot for a new vehicle, right? They've spoken about that a bunch of
Oh,
times.
oh my goodness,
Yeah,
yes, that's a dream come true for all of us,
right.
and I'm really glad that Butch and Sonny had this opportunity. I've kept in touch with Doug Hurley, for example, from Bob and Doug. Remember that show
Sure.
from 4 years ago, and so yeah, they was it's a point of professional pride to be selected to go fly on a first flight, and Butch and Sonny are definitely ready to go, and so they understand it comes this way with flight test.
Yeah, I remember Butch in particular saying, like, to be in the same group as, John Young, Robert Crippen, Wally Schirra, like those folks who flew on the previous five new spacecraft. He really feels that is a point of pride, and same with Sunny as well.
Well, I'm very proud to work with them and very proud to know them, and I'm proud of what we've all accomplished so far.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been working together for so many years now. Again, to bring Starliner online, to bring SpaceX's Dragon online, to really make it so that we do have a robust commercial crew program. It's really a testament to you guys.
Well, as personally as an engineer and as a flight tester, I really this is what I dream about, and having this chance to do it and work with such fantastic teams, both in industry like Boeing and SpaceX, as well as with our NASA team and the commercial crew program. We're it's a very exciting time, and all of these lessons I hope that we're taking with us will help us. As the administrator said earlier on in this broadcast, help us be much more ready for the moon, for our gateway the gateway space station around the
Yes.
moon, the two landers that we have. All of these are good lessons learned. Some of the lessons that we saw today are we saw United Launch Alliance. Something went wrong with one of their sensors and controllers, and they had a plan and they executed it. When the clock is ticking, it was a little bit of a stressful time for the Centaur upper stage, and they handled that magnificently.
Yeah.
And so those are the lessons learned, to be operationally ready for things, because they will happen, and have plans in advance. What did Edna Mode say on The Incredibles? Luck favors the prepared.
Wow. That's a perfect a quote. You had to have that ready. Come on.
Oh yes.
That was so good. That was too perfect.
Up,
And
they're making the turn.
yep.
They're just very close to the crew quarters and the operations and checkout building, and they'll be getting out of their suits in just a few minutes.
Yep. sometimes it can be hard to distinguish, features of Kennedy Space Center because it is so big, and it's a very operational center. But yes, I did know where we were by that turn in particular. That really, there's only a couple more minutes in this ride left. Of course, Mike, knowing so much about this mission, and Butch and Sunny, because you were initially scheduled to fly on CFT. You will instead be pilot for the first operational mission after the certification flight, Starliner 1, but you trained also as their backup pilot for this mission.
That is correct. If and I hope not to be ever used in that situation. Butch and Sunny are the right team for this mission, and but yes, but it's good to know that that we have that preparation and prepared for the case of any contingency or the ones that we can think of, and that just makes that much better for Starliner One to be ready for its flight too. I might not be able to be there at the launch broadcast for that one.
Oh, why?
But who knows? Maybe we'll call you guys from the White Room.
Don't tease me like that. Don't tease me like that, Mike.
Oh, it'll go to voicemail. I have a feeling.
No, if I knew you'd call, oh no. Oh no, it'd be on ring. Okay, and when the crew arrives at astronaut crew quarters here, as Mike has been saying, they will have some time to relax, get out of their suits. Likely a debrief, right, of what we know so far, because the ULA team is continuing to look at the data and try to see exactly what happened with the ground launch sequencer today.
They might have a chance to spend a little bit of time with their families who are here for the launch, and get a chance to talk it through, and then of course dinner.
Dinner.
Maybe it's just me missing the dinners at crew quarters.
Again, if you are just joining us and you're seeing on the bottom of your screen there, the next launch opportunity is June 2nd, 12:03 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, opportunity. Right now, we don't know if teams will elect to take that opportunity, but we are talking about next opportunities because we had to stand down from today's launch attempt. Teams were trying to launch Butch and Sunny in Starliner atop a ULA Atlas V rocket at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Time today. But just under 4 minutes before launch, an automatic hold was triggered by the ground launch sequencer. And again, Mike, talk to us about what that ground launch sequencer is. It's important.
Yes, the old way we used to do rockets before computers, we'd have to make sure all the valves and the telemetry was good, and before we'd hit the launch button. But now with modern technology, we're able to have a computer to make sure everything is correct, and it happens at the right microsecond, so that the valves open, the fuel flows, the igniters ignite, along with the solid rocket boosters on the side, and have it happen with less than second precision to meet that instantaneous launch window. So the ground launch sequencers are normal for all modern rockets, including the Atlas. And for some reason today, when the ground launch sequencer at 3 minutes and 50 seconds to launch said, "Hey, something's not right. I'm gonna stop the sequence," and that's when our opportunity for today went away. But like you mentioned, Megan, indeed, is before is that just keeps things safe and keeps us on track for a successful mission in the future.
And as you said, as teams review what happened today, NASA, Boeing, and ULA, we are planning a news conference at 3 p.m. Eastern today, an opportunity for us to be as transparent as possible about what happened today. Also gives us a little bit more time for teams to, again, review as much as they can so that they can release the most up to date information that they have. So, again, you see it on your screen there. News conference scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern Time here from Kennedy Space Center to give you any new information we can about today's scrub of NASA's Boeing crew flight test. You can watch it on NASA TV, NASA Plus, and our social media channels. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. And also, as you know, for more information as you follow along with launch and also this entire mission, you can always head to blogs.nasa.gov slash Boeing crew flight test. You see that there on your screen. A great resource. It's where we put all of our information so that you can follow along on this exciting journey we have for this flight test. Now it's hard to see. Did we see Butch and Sunny get out of the Astrovan yet?
We didn't, but if it happened like last time, as soon as those doors opened and the steps went down, they were out, and
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, the Astrovan leaving now. So again, if you're just joining us, there was a decision to stand down from today's launch attempt at 12:25 p.m. Eastern of NASA's Boeing crew flight test. We have walked you through the hours leading up to that decision to stand down, and also so that we could watch Butch and Sunny get out of the Starliner spacecraft, and now they are safely back at crew quarters. Before we wrap up, Mike, any final words to wrap up today?
I think what we saw today was space flight in almost its finest form. There were problems along the way. We solved them. We worked together as a team. Communications happened, and I hope we all take that lesson forward because that's just a recipe for success anywhere. In the meantime, our crew are safe. Space station is still going, and we'll have another opportunity, hopefully very soon, to have Starliner fly its maiden flight with human beings.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to that very much. Go Butch, go Sunny, go Atlas, go Centaur, go Starliner.
Go D. Any notes from Boeing?
No, very similar to what Mike just said. Obviously, this is a team effort, and so we're looking forward to what the findings are and what our next opportunity will be.
Right. Again, thank you everyone for watching. We have a press conference planned for 3 p.m. Eastern Time on NASA Plus, NASA TV, our social media channels, where again we will share anything that we can with you about the developing situation we have here at Kennedy Space Center. But for now, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you when we launch.